Hello. Today we're doing something highly unusual. We've heard a lot about Project 2025. My mom has told me to read it. My friends from Texas tell me I need to get a passport before they put me in a concentration camp. So I'm just gonna do a live reaction to it and find out what the hell it's all about. I got every single author. This thing has like over 20 authors. So every time we go through a new section, we're going to go through that author and what they've done and what they haven't done. And just to keep this short, I'm going to stop the chapter and go to the next chapter whenever I call bullshit. Okay? This is written by a lot of people. It's coming off as a lot of people's homework assignment that they've kind of like group projects, like everybody write an essay, then we'll compile it into one essay. This is what this is kind of coming off as. All right, so the first author is Paul Dans, and Paul Dans has 3 weeks ago, he has stepped down from the Heritage Foundation, the organization behind this, along with several other organizations listed, but yeah, he has since stepped down. Who knows why? Maybe he's out golfing somewhere, not thinking about it, hoping that his little baby of a project becomes reality. But he studied at the University of Virginia School of Law in the 90s, so anything from 93 to 97, so anything legal-wise hasn't really been updated in his brain since then. This guy, he's just a guy. Yeah, he has worked for the Trump administration and the Department of Housing and Urban Development. It's interesting considering that the Department of Housing and Urban Development foreword is written by Ben Carson. Interesting. So let's start. By the way, I've got this PDF from the official website themselves. This is actually from the horse's mouth. They actually sell physical copies of it, but it is currently sold out. I assume because, I think the Democratic Convention bought 5 copies just to flaunt it at in everyone's faces. Somebody been buying this book. All right, Mandate for Leadership, The Conservative Promise. Mind you, I'm going over this not because I believe this is actually going to happen, but because I think some of what's in this very large 922-page document might be implemented in the future. So, just to keep a wary eye on that. Although, half of these pages are blank, literally, I scroll, there's just, a credit, a title page, so, it's literally a blank page. They must love wasting paper over there, so let's scroll until we hit a paragraph. All these organizations, all I've just barely scratched the surface. All right, note on Project 2025. This is the part written by solely Dan. So let's see what's up. We want you. Wow. Very original. The Project 2025 Presidential Transition Project is the conservative movement's unified effort. That's hilarious, because none of them are unified right now. To be ready to the next consecutive administration to govern at 12 noon on January 20th, 2025. That's going to age like milk, because even if you do get into presidency, you can't automatically throw all these policies into effect. There's a process, due process. Welcome to the mission. Oh my God. This is by opening this book, you are now part of it. Oh God. This is definitely written by some church people. By opening the good book, you are now part of it. Indeed. One set of eyes reading these passages will be those of the 47th president of, oh God, I'm just gonna call bullshit. This is just trying to sell me on this shit. There's nothing in this note on Project 2025 that is of of the actual thing. Uh, oh, okay, we got pillars. This project is built on 4 pillars. Let's read them. Pillar number 1. This volume puts in one place a concise view of how major federal agencies must be governed, and where disagreement exists, brackets of these differences for the next presidents to choose the path. Okay, so what I noticed about these chapters is exactly what these says. Like it introduces a department, and then it has like 2 separate authors giving a direction that they could go with that department. And so like not even they know what they're going to be doing. Yeah, this is like a template and a guideline, but even they are like, well, you could choose option A or option B. So like they're giving themselves a little wiggle room, so to speak. Not much wiggle room, but such is the binary of American politics. Pillar 2. This is a personnel database that allows candidates to build their own professional profiles and our coalition members to review and voice their recommendations. These recommendations will be then collated and shared with the president's then-elect team, greatly streamlining the appointments process. Again, even they don't know what they're going to be doing yet, and even their suggestions could be shot down by the next president. Okay, so if they're going to be giving the executive branch all this power, and they end up doing that, what's going to happen when there's like a Democrat president with all these policies in place? Like, did they even think about that? No, of course not. Because they just think they're going to rule the world forever. Most people do. Pillar 3, Presidential Administration Academy, online educational system taught by experts of our coalition. So, PagerU, basically. For the newcomer, will explain how government functions, how functions of the government. For the experience, we will host an in-person seminar. Oh my gosh. In-person seminar? You mean like classes? Dumbasses. With advanced training to set the bar for what is expected of senior leadership. Sure, Jan. Pillar 4, the play. This is one sentence. The playbook. Just the playbook. We are forming an agency teams drafting transition plans to move out upon the president's utterance of "So help me God." What? We are forming agency teams and drafting transition plans to move out upon the president's utterance of "So help me God." That's very vague. I'm sure it just means that like they're gonna turn it into more of a theocracy without saying it. So help me God. So help me God is right. Let's hope I can get through the forward of this. Yeah, and that was all written by Paul Dans, the former director of Heritage Project. He has since stepped down due to the controversy of this very document, probably. But no one's saying because, they all like to scratch each other's back. He's probably out golfing somewhere. Oh, authors. Oh, they did my work for me. They really did my work for me. Actually, I'm gonna skip this section because I already did the work of Googling every single one of these motherfuckers. So, credentials be damned. I know these people have credentials. But we're going to go through them as we read through the document. So let's just scroll down to another blank page on 25. And contributors. Oh, goodness. Contributors. Oh, my God. This is everybody's homework, man. Everybody did this homework. This is everybody's homework. Just scrolling. When do I get to some actually policies? Okay, forward. Oh my god, we haven't even gotten to some policies. I'm on page 34. We haven't even gotten to actual fucking policies yet. 44 years ago, the United States conservative movement were in dire straits. Were they, though? Both had been betrayed by the Washington establishment and uncertain of whom to trust. Lord. Okay, I'm calling bullshit on this forward written by Kevin D. Roberts. Kevin D. Roberts. All right, who is Kevin D. Roberts? Kevin D. Roberts is a lifelong educator and a PhD of the American history at the University of Texas. So he's a historian. He's a history teacher in the College of Texas. And he's writing in his political opinion into this forward. Why? Who knows? But most of these people got LinkedIn pages, which is really funny. I almost want to click on it and see what's going on. Oh, he was also part of the Wyoming Catholic College, so if y'all don't like Catholics, here's one to hate. Don't hate the Pope, hate this guy. Oh my gosh. Yeah, repairing the ruins. Oh my god, what is the repairingtheruins.org? I'm curious about this. Repairing the ruins. Yeah. Let's just look at this website. If you're listed on this website, I don't know what this website's about. Repairing the Ruins Conference, Dallas, Texas. This page is not loading. Oh, it's like some kind of megachurch. Okay, go off. I see that now us fags have left your entire faith in ruins. Sure, Jan. Well, that's enough on him. Let's get to section 1, taking reins of the government. Taking reins of the government, like it's a horse or something. Okay. Call bullshit on this forward because it's very much fluff. Very much fluff. They gotta... I'm still on the forward. Promise 1, restore the family coherence of American life to protect our children. I'm pretty sure everybody has children that they want to take care of, not just y'all. Oh, okay. Blah, this is just a lot of the talking points they go through. There is no policy. It's just dreams. Oh, another blank page before we get to section 1, taking reins of our government, written by... Who's it written by? Rick Dearborn. Who is Rick Dearborn? Rick Dearborn is part of the Heritage Foundation. Go figure. Bipartisan Policy Center. Let's look up his Wikipedia page. Let's get chaotic up in here. Career. He's worked for 6 U.S. senators, including 2 members of Senate leadership. More than 25 years working for the Capitol Hill. He was nominated by George W. Bush. Oof. Remember that Bush? Oof. He was part of the Trump transition team. Yeah, he's pretty low-key. He's a low-key man and doesn't usually... So this is probably the biggest thing he's worked on besides, helping presidents transition and working for staff members of the Senate. He's worked with Mitch McConnell. Oh. And he helped revise at least 13 regulations made by the Obama administration by creating Excel spreadsheet of targets. Interesting. Okay. Let's give him a chance. Let's read what he's written until I call bullshit. America's bicentennial, which was, oh my god, America Sings. America Sings was happening, so that was 1976. Oh my god. La 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 la, something about our ideals. When are you gonna get to policy? Like, oh, 2 years after the Constitutional Convention, James Madison, Abraham Lincoln warned of the greatest threat to America would be not from without, from within. Oh my god. These bitches are really trying to sell you, like, something. They're trying to sell you something. This is like a really large MLM. They won't really tell you what the fuck they're gonna do. You know, the federal bureaucracy has a mind of its own, often ideologically aligned. Oh god. Many of the laws and regulations covered largely underworked and overcompensated and unaccountable for federal civilian workforce. Oh my god. In order to carry the president's desires, okay, Jan. Okay. Since when have y'all ever cared about a president's desires? Like, Obama's desire was to have, like, a decent country. Y'all didn't give a shit about his desires. Y'all. Above all, the president and those who serve under him must be committed to the Constitution and the rule of law. Okay. I hear a lot of, like, if, ands, and, like, whatever, but, like, not a lot of policy. Equally important, the president must enforce Constitution laws as written, rather than proclaiming new law unilaterally. Okay. That's what we have, like, the Supreme Court for, usually. Oh my god. When are you gonna actually taking reins of the... oh, fuck. It's already ended. Okay, it was all bullshit. That chapter, written by Mr. Kevin, was all bullshit. And just a lot of if, ands, and buts, and not a lot of, like, hey, this should happen, hey, this should happen. Like, there's a lot of talking points they usually go through. Page 55 is blank. Naturally, wasting paper. For shame for the people who bought this thing. White House Office, Rick Dearborn. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Like 17 minutes into this video, we're finally getting somewhere. From popular culture to academia. From popular culture to academia, the American presidency has long been a prominent fixture of the national imagination. Oh, naturally. So since this is the beating heart of our nation's power and prestige, hold up, not usually? It has played, for instance, a feature role in innumerable movies and television shows, and prodded and analyzed and criticized by countless books, essays, and studies. Okay, the presidency's a big deal. We get it, girl. But like nearly everything else in life, there is no substitute for first-hand experience, which is a manual which this manual has compiled the experience of presidential appointees and provides an accessible form for future use. Okay, let me get this straight. You saying that we be fantasizing about the presidency, but we don't know what it's actually like. So a person who knows nothing about how it's actually like, or maybe just a little bit because they have worked under presidents before, like, this is like, okay, imagine you're a boss somewhere and you got, like, this coworker that, like, dreams of your job and, like, writes a whole, like, play-by-play of how your job should be run. Would you fire that employee? Shit, I would, maybe. I mean, it wouldn't be accepted in any workplace I've been in. With respect to the presidency, it is best to begin with our Republic's foundational document, the Constitution, that gives executive power to the president. It delegates him as commander-in-chief, which gives him responsibility to take care of the laws faithfully and to be faithfully executed. It further prescribes the president might seek, unless you have presidential immunity. Yeah, unless you have presidential immunity and you can just break the law as president, which wasn't accepted before under Nixon, but somehow accepted now. Go, what? Further prescribes that the president might seek assistance of the principal officer of each executive departments, beginning with George Washington, has been supported by some of the former White House office consulting direct staff. You mean the cabinet, as well as the cabinet comprised of departments, agency heads. Since an inaugural administration, late 18th century, citizens have chosen to devote their time and talent to defending and strengthening our nation, and by serving the president. Okay. Oh, here's the good part. The president must rely on the men and women appointed to the White House office. There is simply not enough hours in the day to manage the affairs of a state single-handedly, so a delegation is not so available, and not just advisable, it is essential. So basically, the document that wants to give more executive power not to the president, but to everyone else in the White House. This has definitely been written by a coworker at the White House and not like a president himself. This is it's a very specific kind of dictatorship. Oh Lord. Rick Dearborn, what are you doing? Decisions that assistants and its senior advisors will make a direct impact on the administration, its legacy, and most important, the fate of the country. Their agenda, therefore, be the president's agenda. Oh, okay. So this is a lot of tit for tat. It's like, oh, you're in charge, but we're in charge, but you're in charge, but we're in charge. Very situation, which is very much how it's like. I'm just gonna keep reading. Chief of Staff. Ooh, we creating new positions now? Okay. As with most positions, that will be covered in the first chapter. Chief of Staff, also an assistant to the president, like Jafar, the royal vizier. However, the chief is usually among equals. Of all the presidential staff members, the chief is the most critical to implementation of the president's vision for the country. The chief has also a dual role in manager staffs in the both White House office and executive office of the president. Chief of Staff's first managerial task is to establish organizational chart of the White House office. So an Excel spreadsheet, like you've done before. Got it. It should identify specific points of contact for each element of the government outside of the White House. These contracts should include the White House liaisons, who are selected by the Office of Presidential Personnel, the PPO. Oh God. Receiving guidance from the president, chief advisors implement the president's agenda by setting priorities of the White House office. These processes begin by taking stock of the president's campaign promises and identifying current and prospective opportunities and delegating policies among departments and agencies, cabinet, and throughout the White House policy councils. Oh, we got policy councils. Oof. Let's read these policy councils. National Economic Council, the Domestic Policy Council, and the National Security Council. The president is briefed on all these policies by the cabinet and their senior staff and staff. The chief, among those White House office, maps out the issues that will be covered by daily and weekly. This is just showing like a lot of incompetence. Like if you have to map all this out for someone's staff, it kind of shows you guys' own incompetence if you need all these. Chief then works policy council, cabinet, and office. All senior staff report to the chief of staff. Oh, all senior staff must report to the chief of staff and 2 of the 3 deputies. Oh, okay, we're creating jobs all of a sudden. So not only we got chief of staff, he got 3 deputies. Who are we creating jobs for? That's what I want to know. Who's going to be safe under your umbrella? Cabinet officer, select member of direct reports, most cases, the PPO director, White House counsel, occasionally, la 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 la. Noted instead of the deputy staff, blah 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 blah. All right, we're getting into the new jobs list. Deputy chiefs of staff. In recent years, presidents typically have appointed deputy chiefs of staff, deputy chiefs of staff management, operations, deputy chief of policy. There will be types of deputy chiefs and roles have included, for example, overseeing strategy, planning, and principal deputy chiefs of staff. Not all chiefs of staffs have tapped a principal deputy. Major reason is that doing adds another layer of command to the complexity. When a principal deputy has been installed, their roles are varied based on the particular chiefs taking their own, like, this is kind of like, this fool is kind of like exposing, like, a lot of things, but, like, more so, like, how he thinks it should be run. Deputy Chief of Staff Management Operations. The Deputy Chief of Staff Management Operations, the President's schedule along logistical aspects of the movement and outside, within and outside the White House. And for example, traveling with the Air Force Marine One, la 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 la. So, how he gets around. Not unusual, I guess. Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy. Oh, this is getting interesting. In some administrations, the functions of IGA or OPA or OPL, which is abbreviations they haven't even given yet. So they're leaving us in the dark in this document on purpose. You know, because I know if I want to read a guide how to run the government, I want to be left in the dark, you know, right? Sure, Dan. Falling under Deputy Chief Policy. For conservatives, this arrangement could help connect the White House office outreach to political and external groups. What external groups? What external groups? Are they Proud Boys? Are they Al-Qaeda? What external groups? Why would the White House need to outreach to external groups? Fascinating. Okay. Under outreach to external groups, and to be strong conduit for the state and local elected officials, state party organizations in both grass top and grassroots groups. Grass top. What the is that supposed to mean? I know what grassroots is. I mean, that's from the community, from the bottom up. Grass top? Rich people are just giving themselves their own names now. Oh, we ain't grassroots, we're grass tops. Grass tops? Grass tops. From the grassroots to the grass tops. It sounds like someone's profile on Grindr, I swear. We'll continue. Grassroots to the grass tops. I probably sure won't be laughing when we're in dictatorship, but I'm laughing now, so let me have this. Presidents have surrounded themselves with senior advisors whose experience and interests are not necessarily neatly defined. Boy, you could say that twice. In recent administrations, senior advisors have been appointed to offer board guidance to political matters and communications issues. Others have acted as czars for political projects and policy areas. You are not going to be using the word czars in the American document when you know full well Russia is at war with itself and Ukraine. Lord, you are not going to be using the word czars in this American document, sir. In quotes. Some people have been acting as czars, you know? This is... I'm going to call bullshit. I'm calling bullshit now because this person is just bitching. He's bitching about his job, and he's bitching about how it should be run, and I'm really done with this author, and I want to move on to the next one. Okay. This is quite a fascinating... This is going to be this is going to be quick. This video is going to be long enough as it is, so we might as well get to the next one. Executive Office of President of the United States by Russ Vought. Vought Industries? I'm just kidding. Let's look up who Russ Vought is. Oof. Oh, he got some glasses. He's 48 years old. Born in the 70s. Definitely an 80s baby, though, so... I'm noticing a lot. There's a lot of people who definitely thrived during the Reagan era, or at least thought they did when they were kids, so... He has a National Archives page. He has a Wikipedia page. He has a Twitter. One of the few authors that has the balls to have a Twitter. Yikes. Go flood his tweets. Go flood his tweets. Go figure out what that's about. He is the Office of Management and Budget, so he's a money man under Trump. Deputy Director. Let's look up his Wikipedia page. Why the fuck not? We're already here. Center for Renewing America. Focus on contributing race. Ew. You're the reason why critical race theory exists. Can I be critical of the Caucasian race now? Yikes. Oh, he only has a bachelor's degree. So you too can earn just a bachelor's degree in arts and suddenly work in politics. Sure, Jan. Good to know. Let's read the bullshit he has to say. La 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 la. In the opening words in Article 2 of the Constitution, it makes it abundantly clear that the executive power shall be vested by the President of the United States of America. Okay, Jan. That enormous power is not vested in the departments or its agencies. You know, like the FBI and CIA? Sure. Okay. Or in its affirmative bodies, in non-governmental organizations, or in other entities interested close to the government. The president must set and enforce a plan for the executive branch. Sadly, however, a president today assumes office and finds a sprawling federal bureaucracy that is all too often carrying out its own policy and plans, preface, and preferences, or worse yet, the policy plans and prefaces of a radical, supposedly woke faction of the country. Oh no. Woke, there's the word. Oh, ding, 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 it's the trigger word.
Hey, you're finally woke.
They afraid of wokeness. They afraid of that wokeness. They afraid of that wokeness. These sleeping beauties afraid of that wokeness. Hey, what is woke? Hey, go tweet Russ Vought and ask him what woke means to him, because he wrote it in this document. Ask him what woke means. I do it now. It's gonna be fun. Woke factions of the country, like people just like in factions, like, all right, today we're gonna be woke as fuck. We're gonna be like, which doesn't happen. There are no woke factions in government. They're just people doing their jobs. Veep style. I don't know if you ever seen the show Veep. That's kind of like how our governments run, mostly. The modern conservative president's task is to limit, control, and direct the executive branch on behalf of the American people. This challenge has created exacerbated factors of Congress's decades-long tendency to delegate lawmaking power to its agencies and bureaucracies, and prevent notion of independence. Oh God, he's mentioning James Madison again. Okay. Y'all, y'all need to get out of the founding fathers' asses. If y'all gonna say that this is brand new shit, Lord, I'm scrolling down. I'm skipping this paragraph. Fucking. Okay, I'm calling bullshit. You can't be having a bachelor's degree and contributing a whole ass chapter. Oh, now you get to management and budget. Okay, we're not gonna skip it yet. We're gonna look at what he thinks about management and budget because he's a money man. See what he has to say. Developing and enforcing. The president's budget must be executing the appropriations of laws to fund the government. Okay. Managing. Agency and personnel performance. Developing. Okay, this is coming off like a PowerPoint presentation, not so much a document for how to run the government, but go off, huh? Oh Lord. Yeah, no. We're done. Yeah, no, we're done. Because this guy has no idea what he's talking about. He has no idea what he's talking about. Smart act, good act. Oh, now he's complaining about a lot of the acts. He's complaining about the smart act. Oh my gosh. Good. How long did... All right. At page 67, his bullshit finally ends, and then we come to another blank page, at page 101, Dalmatians, and we come to a chapter written by 3 different people: Donald Devine, Dennis Dean Kirk, and Paul Dans again. Ooh, there goes Paul Dans, coming on in, fulfilling his vision, even though he ain't even part of this party anymore. Let's see. Let's go. Overview. From the very first mandate of leadership, the personnel is policy theme has been fundamental. The personnel is policy. The personnel is policy, in quotes. I want you to think about that. The personnel is policy. Who we is, as personnel, is the policy, not y'all. Got it. Let's continue. The federal government's immense bureaucracy spreads through hundreds of agencies, thousands of units, and is centered and overseen by central personnel. Blah, 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 blah. Office of Personnel Management. Oh, now they're giving us some acronyms. Merit System Protection Board, Federal Labor Relations Authority, and the Office of Special Counsel. Office of Special Counsel, oh, that's got to be a very special department. Title V of the U.S. Code charges the OPM with executing, administrative, enforcing rules, regulations, and governing civil service. It grants the OPM direct responsibility to take for activities like retirement pay, health, training, federal unionization, suitability, classification functions. Oh my god. So this is like some actual formatting and restructuring. Oh, the Equal Opportunity Commission. Ooh, what do they do? It's a general responsibility to reviewing charges of employee discrimination and civil rights breaches. However, it also administers government employee and Section 2 investigates and adjudicates federal employee complaints concerning any equal employment violations, such with the private sector, makes it an additional de facto factor to government personnel management. Okay. Analysis and recommendations. Oh boy. Is a very pinnacle of modern progressive program to make government stands of legal and professionalized career civil service. Since the turn of the 20th century, oh boy, what are you going to say now? Progressives have sought a system that could effectively select, train, and reward and guard from partisan influence and neutral scientific experts they believe are required to staff national government and run an administrative state. Yeah, wouldn't you want the experts running shit? You saying you don't want the experts running shit? You saying you don't want the experts running shit? You don't want the experts running shit, though? Oh, they mentioned the New Deal. They got something against the 1930s New Deal. Has set principles and practices where it's meant to ensure that the expert merit rather than partisan favors and personal favoritism are ruled within federal bureaucracy. Yet, public frustration of civil service has grown, gathering calls to, quote, drain the swamp. And it has become that their project has serious unintended consequences. Unintended consequences of having the experts in charge. Okay. The civil service is devised to replace the altruism and presumed corruption of the old spoils system, wherein federal government jobs are rewarded by loyal partisans. Oh, so you want to play favorites. You don't want experts. You want favoritism. Experts be damned. You want to pick your favorite booze to run your government. I'm going to call bullshit. Oh, it's so bullshit. Oh, you mentioning Jimmy Carter in this? Jimmy Carter's voting for Kamala. He's not voting for this shit. You know that, right? Oh my God. President Carter fulfilled his prank game promise. Oh my God. Yeah, no. We're gonna call bullshit. And we're probably gonna stop the video here. We're gonna be a part 2 and part 3 of this because this is a long document. I'm only on page 105. And we're gonna be going through, skimming through this whole thing. And then I'll give you my thoughts on this bullshit. Stay tuned, you know. Remember, don't trust the experts. Trust your homie. What kind of advice is that? What the fuck? Whatever happens, just go vote. These people don't know what they're doing. They really don't. That's why they wrote this whole book, because they don't know what they're doing. And this is what they think they should be doing. But they don't know what they're doing. Even the chapter after this argues against what I just read. The common defense. So, these people don't know what they're doing. This document doesn't even know what it's saying. So just go vote. Go protest. Make your voices heard. You know? Nothing happens overnight. Okay? It's a slow build-up, like a boiling pot. Okay? Don't let these bitches get the win. Okay?